Oh, here's a good one. How high-end restaurants decide about their menu, or extend this, how a good promising restaurant should decide about the menu. So how can you decide for a menu when the reality is that most of your clients don't know how to appreciate this? Because I was kind of cutting out the comments. But basically, how do you find that balance as a chef to do the kind of food that you want to do? And it's always going to be a building process. Now, it's easy to blame this on your guests and say, "Oh, they don't understand me. They don't get me. They don't understand how great my food is, how creative I am," right? But you're basically blinding yourself by your own ego. You have to earn their trust. Now, I love great creative food. Okay, but when I walk into a restaurant and I don't know the chef, there's not a whole lot of buzz, and I'm sitting down for dinner, I'm probably going to go for something safe, right? I mean, unless there's a reason, unless you can entice me out of the safe bet, as a professional chef, just as a normal diner, I'm going to go with something safe, right? Because I don't want to deal with that shit, okay? You got to earn my trust. So you got to build a reputation. And the way that you build a reputation is by executing your menu flawlessly time and time and time again, and getting everybody to trust in you. Not only the customers, but also the servers and your staff and your kitchen crew, right? How many times have you been to a restaurant and you ask a server, like, "Hey, how's this dish?" And they're like, "The halibut's really good." And you're like, okay, I can read between the lines, right? So, for example, when I was opening up Stella way back in the day, it started off really simple, just doing some simple meat and veg sets, right? But I was pan roasting the chicken breast perfectly. I was brining it. I was getting some nice veg sets underneath it. I was doing the nice reduction sauces. And the menu description would read something as simple as, pan roasted chicken breast, sauteed zucchini and squash with garlic and thyme, and a roasted chicken velouté. Sounds nice, right? But also not really intimidating to most people. Or you can even do like a roasted chicken jus. So you got to write your menu to your audience. And then as you start to build that base, right, you can start pushing the envelope a little bit. And that's what your specials are for, right? So you're pushing the envelope on your specials. And you're becoming more and more creative, and people, they order the specials, and your staff is fired up because they're selling the specials, and maybe they're making some more money. So the specials are a good sort of feedback loop for new dishes. All right, they're not to blow out waste. They're not to blow out a product that's kind of getting ready to turn in your walk-in. They're for you to experiment, to try and get new people on board with your overall cuisine and your cooking style. And then what's going to happen is, if you do it right, you're slowly going to evolve into a menu that is purely you, right? And it's going to have every single menu item is going to have your greatest hits, and maybe a couple of escape hatches for people. All right, unless you're doing like a pure high-end fine dining concept where everyone's coming in and getting like a set tasting menu, you got to give some people some outs, right? Because you're going to have a four top that comes in, and three of them are going to be foodies, but the fifth guy just wants a steak and wants like a salad, okay? Not a big deal. It has nothing to do with you. Don't let your ego get involved. So have some outs for these people, all right? Don't force them to just take a leap of faith on every single item. So it's a long, slow process, but it's on you as the chef to execute, to have an opening menu that you can execute. And this is where a lot of people fail. They take over a restaurant and they want to make a bang, or they open a restaurant and they want to make a bang, right? So what they do is they write this beautiful menu, and it has all these geeky culinary phrases on it, and they get in the kitchen with a green team that doesn't have a whole lot of training, and they completely just drop the ball. They can't execute. The chef might have some amazing dishes, but if you can't execute, then you ain't shit. All right? That's just how it happens. So what you want to do is who doesn't like a perfectly pan-roasted chicken breast with some vegetables? I love it. Who doesn't like a perfectly pan-roasted steak with some solid mashed potatoes and a demi-glace? I love it. It's great. It's good stuff. Now, is it pushing the culinary envelope? No. But if you can start by flawlessly executing these items and then go from there, use it as a base, as a foundation to earn trust, then when that guy comes back for that third time for a filet with your demi-glace, the server's going to say, hey, you know what, Mr. Smith? You know what you really ought to try is you got to try this guy's pan-roasted duck breast. It is out of the world, right? Because your servers truly believe in it, and it's way easier to sell a product that you believe in. Now, if you're opening up with this amazing menu, well, you better have good funding and you better have a reputation, right? If you're some no-name chef and you think that you're just going to open up a restaurant with like a super creative menu from day one, it's not going to happen. Okay, you got to have a reputation. You got to give people a reason to trust you, and it's also going to take a ton of training to get these people up to speed. These people, I mean, your kitchen, right? So you're going to have to be cooking and throwing stuff away, because you can only eat so much food amongst your kitchen staff and your front of the house, right? And you're going to have to invest in weeks and weeks and weeks of training, probably 6 to 8 weeks of in the kitchen training, not serving any staff, not serving any customers. Right? Because that's what's going to take to get people up to speed, or your kitchen up to speed with these sort of high-end tasting menu concepts. So they're very expensive to launch. So the best thing to do if you don't have a ton of money to burn and you don't have a massive reputation is you ease your way into that, right? You get a good solid opening team, you start working on the basics with them, and the basics will rapidly become more and more advanced dishes.